In today's video, we are going to be talking about this thing. They go by multiple different names including pods, side swimmers, lake shrimp, gammarids, benthic amphipods, sea fleas, and of course, scuds. We'll talk about the other swimming dots some other time. For now, just know that they are called seed shrimp. In the wild, scuds break down decaying leaves and organic matter, recycling nutrients back into the ecosystem. In the aquarium and bioactive world, they do the exact same thing. Scuds help keep substrates clean, control waste, and they're also an incredible live source of food that just constantly reproduces. One downside is that they do happily chew on live plants. However, if you provide them with enough detritus and dead plants, they typically do not go after living plants as often. I was keeping my scuds in a little eco-orb kind of setup, but ultimately that setup started to get a little bit more algae infested than I wanted to have them in, so I am making the Scud Tub. Started with a pretty generic and cheap plastic tote. This setup is going to follow a Wallstead-like method, which means the first major ingredient is dirt. This will give the plants that will eventually be planted in this tub a little bit of a growing medium. With these plants comes a more stable environment for fish, as well as, in my case, scuds. Using dirt also has a huge advantage over using something like aqua soil, because dirt is dirt cheap. On its own, dirt really doesn't look that good though. We'll be adding in a sand cap later. For now, I'm adding in some hardscape to help divide the tote into an upper section and a lower section. After adding the sand cap, I realized I didn't want to use this piece of slate, but this one right here, this one, it's perfect. One thing you can do to help make builds look more interesting is adding multiple different sizes of stones. This creates a little bit of a variation, and it helps make larger stones look even larger, since you now have something to compare them to. One thing to consider when doing this though is the directionality. I have all of the slate kind of pointing upwards. It's gonna make it seem more cohesive. Now let's decide on some plants. Heart-shaped grass. Nah. Long hair grass. Nope. Mini leaf. That sounds good. Clover. That sounds good too. One advantage seed packages have over, say, live plants is that not only can they be stored, but you also can basically just spread them around anywhere you're hoping to see some plant growth. Despite my cute little visitor, I wanted to get my clover planted still. My idea is this will create a forest up in the upper section, or at least right in this one spot. It's not that hard to go ahead and spread seeds out if they happen to all land in one area. With Sophie finally out of the way, I am able to water the tote and get these seeds to try and germinate. The tote is weather sealed, which allows it to retain a very high level of humidity. This will help keep the plants happy, at least until they are able to get nutrients from the soil as well, at which point they will really take off. And after just a few days, we've got seeds with roots trying to sprout. I'm trying to poke them back into the sand. That way their roots will be able to grow a little bit more effectively towards the soil, instead of being on top of the sand and moving the entire seed capsule. Despite my best efforts, seeds did start floating after I added water. I ended up just putting them on the upper layer where there wasn't yet standing water, which ended up being a good idea. As you can see, the upper level ends up being fairly dense. I also added in some terrestrial mosses. Now, a little while after letting that all grow in, I see these in the Scud Tub. Turns out they're called a detritus worm, and they essentially just also eat algae, bacteria, and other waste in the aquarium. With how incredibly different the water parameters were between the two containers, I drip acclimated to make sure that there wasn't going to be much, if any, die-off with the scuds. Speaking of which, there's one right now. In you go. Watching them zip around the tub is a lot of fun. Honestly, I could watch them zip around the tub for hours. After a few days of watching the scuds run around the tub, I also noticed this guy hanging out. Now, I think this is called a stonefly, and it's just a nymph, but when they get older, they come out of the water and develop wings. They look pretty cool. Guess I'll just have to keep my eyes open for, the eventual adult. But I think this is gonna do it for the Scud Tub. Hopefully I'll see you guys in the next video, and if you guys enjoyed it, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. See you then.